Hey guys, Paul from Ashen Phoenix. It is New Comic Book Day for the week of July 15th, and we're going to get started right now.
Hype!
This episode brought to you by Hype Shirt.
Hype!
Buy one.
Hype!
They're good. They're brand new from the new line. There's a new one coming that will be in stores tonight.
More on that later.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Tim from Capes and Scowls. How are you? Paul, how are you?
Okay.
Paul's fine. We're going to talk about trades now, because that's what we do. You all love trades, right? Well, let's talk about Conan's Serpent War. This is Conan and Moon Knight, and a bunch of other people, but Conan and Moon Knight teamed up together. We reviewed issue 1 on here, and I liked it, and I still do. Check that out. We got Buffy, Hellmouth. This is the issues of Hellmouth, 1 through 5. I believe there was some tie-in. This ran through like every book ever, right? Angel and Buffy. So this is the meat and potatoes of it, but there are some spin-off things. Manifest Destiny, Volume 7. This is such a cool adventure-y kind of book. Miss Marvel, Volume 2. This is Magnificent Miss Marvel 7 through 12. Which was, you read a little of that, right?
Yeah, I read the first couple issues. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. And then H.G. Wells' The Island of Dr. Moreau. You read this, right?
No.
So one of us read it. The art is amazing in this.
You read that?
I read this?
Yes.
I loved it. I don't remember. I remember the art was amazing. And, I mean, it's The Island of Dr. Moreau. It's pretty cool. So check this out. You'll see some wild stuff.
First up, we have Death Metal, issue number 2. It's okay. I think one of the things that's going to be a problem with this book is if you haven't been reading all the Year of the Villain and all the things coming up, there's a lot of missing information that unfortunately these books are just not picking up on. So that's where this story suffers. It's still kind of interesting because, like how this book is supposed to be, it's death metal. So it's supposed to be taking metal and the absurdities of metal and just cranking them up even more. So in that respect, you see a new villain coming out, which was more absurd than the Batman Who Laughs, and even worse. And then you see the steps being taken by Batman and Wonder Woman and the craziness that comes from. So in that respect, this book excels. Does that make for a good story? I don't know yet. Only issue number 2, and like again, a lot of this takes of the backstory and all that kind of stuff that you really are missing, because this really does assume that you haven't picked up any, or that you've picked up everything, and that's where I believe this book fails. It's not a bad book, especially if you read everything. If you read everything, then this book makes complete sense to you. If you haven't, you're really gonna be lost. So definitely read Death Metal issue number 1, and then hope that you can get through this.
Hype! All right, first up for me, we've got Paul. You won't believe it. I did Snake Eyes, Dead Game, G.I. Joe. Oh yes, Paul. This book had a really cool idea, and I really wanted to read this, but it's all Liefeld art, and I don't like Liefeld art. Liefeld wrote it too. So here's what I have to say about this book. I actually like the writing of this book. I like the idea, some supernatural kind of stuff in the G.I. Joe universe, which is not completely unheard of. But that art is so inconsistent, so all over the place. There's times where it doesn't even fit correctly on the page. I don't know what size he drew it in, that was their fix. Do you remember the Captain America cover where Captain America had like this crazy pectoral muscle that made no sense? Roadblock has it here. I think that's the nicest way I can crap all over this book. What do you think, Paul? Is that pretty good?
I mean, I guess.
I love the idea of this book, and I'll never see it in a positive way. If you love Liefeld, here you go. It's great.
All right, next up we have Empyre issue number 1. This was almost my pick of the week because of the curveball that this threw. I'm not going to spoil it, but it is the Avengers and the Fantastic Four trying to defuse a war between the Kree and the Skrull and the Kotai. And things go really, really wrong. And that's all I can tell you of it. I mean, this book is really, really well done. I did not see it coming, and some of you won't either. But this was really, really good. I was not expecting to care about this book at all. It was going to be like, I'll read it, but I'm not going to like it. I'll read it because you need to read it. But now I want to read it. And almost my pick of the week. Not quite, because another book surprised me even more than this. But this was really close to being my pick of the week. So check out Empyre. You don't need to be reading anything prior to this. Maybe Empyre 0, just for a little bit of help. But otherwise, dude, you can jump into this and be fine. So this doesn't have the same problems as Death Metal. You don't have to read everything that's coming beforehand. 0 is all you need, and that sets everything up for what you could possibly want for this story. So pick it up.
Hype! All right, I'm recovering from that last one. Paul, that was rough. It took a lot of restraint for me to not poo-poo all over that book. But here's a book. Sacred 6, number 1, from Dynamite. This is one of those Dynamite books where they're like, here's a bunch of characters that don't have anything to do with each other. Let's throw them all together in a book. And that's okay, I guess. It focuses on Vampirella, Draculina, Pantha, Nyx, Chastity, Lilith. They're all vampire-y kind of characters and monster-y kind of characters, and I guess that's all I can really tell you, because this book really flops around between all these characters getting like a page and a half, and then flipping to a new one, okay, page and a half of that character. And I'm sure this will all make sense at some point, but it didn't make me care to find out. It's got Jay Lee cover, and a little bit of the art is him. The art is fine. It goes between a couple different artists. You'd have to know all these characters and truly care. I was willing to try. I read it. I do not care. Maybe a little less, a little more pages devoted to each character. Don't do it.
My pick of the week, what is it? It eats what feeds it. Issue number 1 from Scout. This book is, I'm going to try to get to a couple pages that are not spoilers. This book is just beautifully drawn in a minimalist effort, keeping the dark qualities. Story is about a young man taking up a kind of a stewardship of an old place where he's convinced that the place is haunted, because that's what happens with these old mansions that are off in the middle of nowhere, and he's fully expecting to die, and he comes in and meets the woman who he's going to be taken care of, and she is beautiful and flirtatious, and of course he is just out of high school and stupid. So you know where this is going to go. He ignores all the red flags and just barrels ahead. But this book is beautifully done, man. I was not expecting this at all. I'd only seen this on Twitter, but man, I want to read every page of this. I want to read everything that comes out of this book. So I can't wait for issue number 2. This is expertly drawn. It's a quick read, and I can't rave more about it.
Rave more.
I mean, I can't. I can try. But
more.
I'm not going to give away any of the spoilers, but this book is going to be a very interesting book to read. Check it out. If your comic book store doesn't have it, get them to order it. It's really, really good. It's really good. Definitely grab it.
All right, everybody, it's time for my pick of the week. Paul, you ready?
I guess.
Yeah, I picked The Savage Dragon, number 250. And I picked the blank cover, because I couldn't decide on a cover. Plus, I think it'd be a great idea to cross out Savage, write Ultimo, and then draw that wrestler from the late 90s WCW. If you're with me and you want to do that, that's a little exercise. You don't have to cross out Savage. It'd still be cool. He could be Savage. He's great. The Moonsalt's named after him. The Acai Moonsalt. You learned a thing, people. Anyways, I guess I don't have to hold up a blank cover. Savage Dragon number 250 is the 250th issue. It is a $10 book, but it's a pretty good jumping on point to the world of Savage Dragon. Why do I say that? Because they just kind of had fun with it. There is so much content in here. I didn't know everything, but I knew enough, and I was fine with that. Many different characters from, what was his name? Super Patriot and the Deadly Duo, and I've already forgotten half the things I just read. But it was good. There was variety. I like the idea that they kind of talk about, they talk about COVID-19 in this, where there's no real adventure because they're all quarantined. Paul is cracking up. That's actually the story, and it deals with Savage Dragon and his wife trying to have sex with the kids being home all the time. It's really, crap people are going through right now, and how the kids are a little restless. I'm telling you, though, but the fact that they did it in kind of a comical way, I enjoyed it. Now, do note, if you're just jumping into Savage Dragon, there's some brutality, there's some violence, there's some nudity. No doubt about the sexual content in this. But it's fun. Eric Larson just had fun. He's like, what can I do? I can't do anything. Here it is. This is what it is. They're quarantined too. And, yeah, I just like that idea of it, and the content is worth $10. Try it out. And draw me the Ultimo Dragon. Whoever draws me the best Ultimo Dragon will receive... What can we give them, Paul?
That blank cover of Savage Dragon.
It's like they never drew it at all. Okay. No, let's not do that. We're not going to... We'll give something to be determined. Ooh, mystery prize. So, send in your Ultimo Dragons. Where should they send it, Paul?
There's an email on YouTube.
There's an email on the YouTubes. Cool. Alright, that's the end of the video. Thank you for making it to the end. I hope everybody enjoys the blank Savage Dragon contest. Eric Larson, if you want to send me one. Wouldn't that be neat? He won't do it. He's a nice guy. He won't.
I mean, he would definitely win.
Okay. If I had like an Eric Larson awesome one, and then like one like an 8th grader sent in, and I was like, oh, they tried. I mean, you don't have to try, Eric Larson. That'd be really messed up.
It would be messed up. I mean, he'd still win though.
Well, you don't know.
Like, you have to throw the 8th grader under the bus.
I don't have to.
I would have to.
I would let the 8th grader win, and his prize would be the Eric Larson picture, because I'm a nice guy.
I don't know if that would make it out of the office.
The Ultimo Dragon?
Yeah. I think me and you would be fighting over that.
That may be.
So yeah, the 8th grader once again loses.
Ah.
He's going to lose. Okay, here's what happens. If
All right,
Eric Larson sends you that,
so the only way to win...
You will do a sketch of the Savage Dragon on the Savage Dragon cover and give it to the 8th grader.
All right, that's fair. But what if somebody, now hypothetically, I don't know who's better than Eric Larson. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus. But what if somebody better than Eric Larson? What if Eric Larson wins?
Eric Larson would win.
Yeah, but what if, like, it's the reverse... I'm sorry, Eric Larson. Anyways, look. We have a shirt coming out. Can we tell them about the shirt?
You can tell them about the shirt.
The shirt has to do with one of our favorite sayings on here. No, not that one. Not the one about killing things with a heavy book.
That's coming later.
That'll be later if this one sells one. This is about the pugs. You all love pugs. You remember the pugs? Started with Battle Pug. Drowning the pugs, the whole thing. You remember? All right, well, there's a shirt coming about it. No animals were harmed in the making of the shirt.
No pugs were harmed in the making of the shirt.
No pugs were harmed in the making of the shirt. Paul, I feel like this is going on too long.
I think it is.
All right, goodbye, everybody.